This show is brought to you by Day 11 Podcast, a podcast dedicated to covering not only a plot summary of a given episode of a TV show, but also the online chatter surrounding it. Check out their coverage of the new season of Star Trek Discovery by searching Day 11 Podcast on your podcatcher, and participate in their conversations by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Day11Podcast. This is an Unspoiled Network podcast. This is Unspoiled, covering Doctor Who, Season 2, Episode 11. Episode 11, Natasha. Love and Monsters. In this episode, I found this episode so unmemorable that I forgot I had watched it and watched Fear Her today, expecting to record on that. This will be interesting. Welcome to Unspoiled. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Natasha.
And I'm Jamie.
Oh, guys.
I'm very amused.
This is... Jamie and I made this discovery that I had watched the next episode by mistake literally 30 seconds before we began recording. So, it's fresh in our minds, and my bad.
I was afraid that you were going to be like, all right, well, we're just going to have to record on Fear Her, and I was going to be like, look. I haven't rewatched that one yet, so I'm not going to be much help here.
This episode I watched with Owen, too, and you would think that as weird as this one was, and as hilarious his reactions to the whole thing were,
God,
it really would have like lodged in my mind, but it just didn't. And you know what I think? It's probably because we don't have our familiar guys in it for so much of the episode that it didn't feel like a Doctor Who, so I just put it in a whole other like mental space in my head. Do you know what I mean?
I will tell you a quick tale.
Ooh.
When I originally watched this episode, I'm pretty sure I fell asleep because it did not interest me at all back the first time. So when I rewatched the series later, I was like, I don't remember this one at all. And I realized I probably didn't see much of it. And the more I've seen it now, the more amusing I find it. And I like this little conceit of the Doctor's around, but we don't really see him.
Right.
And yet, I completely understand why you forgot all about it, because there's something about I don't know why. The first time you see this one, you're like, eh. All right.
Yeah, this feels like, you know, when you've talked about that there are like little mini-sodes online. Mm-hmm. This feels like something like that isn't actually important to anything and was just a fun thing that somebody decided to do. And it's, you know, you can take or leave it, but it's has some actors that we all enjoy, and it's going to be a little fun, like maybe a little surprise that the Doctor even shows up because people even weren't aware what it was at first, kind of thing, you know? Mm-hmm. But, yeah, when it started off and he like meets this monster, but then the Doctor is there and then Rose is there and we have them like running in and out of doorways and all of this stuff in a very sort of Benny Hill kind of moment. It wasn't like I didn't find that funny, but it just doesn't feel like it matters.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, all right.
I'd rather compare it to Scooby-Doo than Benny Hill.
That's probably fair, yeah. I can't believe how completely I forgot about this. Especially because as I was watching it, I was like, I am definitely going to have to make some commentary about Moaning Myrtle in this. Mm-hmm. But It's just so weird, Jamie. It's just so weird.
It is. There is a legitimate reason why this episode does not have the Doctor and Rose in it very much. And that is that this season they went to a production schedule for 14 episodes to include the Christmas special. But they didn't have... In order to like stay on schedule, they created an episode that's Doctor Light, so that Billy and David Tennant could have some time off and still also work on another episode. They sort of shot 2 episodes at the same time.
That just doesn't seem like a smart idea.
I think they had to do 14 episodes, but they only had the time for 13. So in order to do that, they have one episode where these two aren't in it as much, so they can film stuff for the next episode. I don't know.
Good Lord!
But that's what I read, was that this is considered a Dr. Light episode, so that it allows 2 episodes of the series to be filmed at the same time.
I wish you were talking about Fear Her. Oh, well.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. It is
right
my
on to
fault.
this one.
So, yeah, the main character in this one is this dude named Elton, who I'm sure I've seen in other things. He's got one of those faces.
His name is Mark Warren. Have you watched Band of Brothers?
No.
All right. He has one, like, significant episode of Band of Brothers. He also was on The Good Wife for a season as a recurring character. Did you watch that? Mm-mm. Then I don't know what you've seen him from, because that's what I know him from, those 2 things.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said, like, he's got one of those faces, is I kind of think I haven't seen him in anything.
You probably have, because you watch a lot of British TV.
Yeah, that's true.
He's probably popped up in things. He does have a face that's memorable and forgettable all at the same time.
Oh, he was in Wanted. That's weird. Okay.
With James
and he
McAvoy?
Was in Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I bet that's what I'm like vaguely recognizing him from.
Yeah, that's probably what you know him from.
There goes a fucking good movie or series. Yeah. All right. So, so what's going on basically is that this dude is like part of this sort of paranormal society that is all, they're all like aware of the Doctor in various capacities. They've all run into weirdness, and they're like, it's a shame because they just come across as a bunch of Looney Tunes, but we know that what they've like seen and what they have experienced in many cases is actually real, but it's hard to tell between all of the like different folks who get involved in this little club, how many of them have had legit experiences and how many of them are just sort of weirdos.
Yeah, well, like Elton, he was in London when all the mannequins came to life.
Right.
And then he saw the ship crash into Big Ben, and he saw the alien invasion happen on Christmas Day. So he was around and actually seeing these things. But for everybody else, we don't really learn what they experienced. Mm-hmm. You know? Like, Ursula has a blog where she believes his story about the Doctor, but we don't get any indication that the rest of them were like looking for the Doctor.
Yeah, true. It's just a general sense of it's like Ghost Adventures, but you know, nerdier. Ghost Adventures is very gelled up and tanned.
Is that a real show?
Girl, Jamie?
I thought you were talking about the ghost facers from Supernatural.
I have no idea what you are referencing there. But Ghost Adventures, Jamie, if you haven't seen it, I really...
Is that the one with the bro, that like really douchey bro? Seen one episode. Actually, I don't even know if I have. I think I saw clips on the Soup.
Oh my God, I'll never forget the first time I ever saw Ghost Adventures. It was like, I think I was like 15, and I was just horrified. This guy is out here baiting ghosts, basically, going into places where there's supposedly a haunting because this woman like drowned in a well, and he's going in there with like buckets of water, sloshing it around like, Eleanor, are you in here? We heard that you drowned, Eleanor, shaking the water around. Like, I am making this up, but that's basically what he's like. And then he'll say things like, people say that you're pretty scary. I'm not scared of you. I don't see anything to be scared of. Like, he's just trying to egg these ghosts into showing themselves. But then this is all interspersed with his, like, commentary that's a voiceover. And he's one of those people that doesn't actually know how to use certain words. And it's very clear when he says things that somebody has written some of this for him, and he doesn't know how to pronounce things, or he adds dramatic flair in areas where it doesn't really work, and it's so funny. I swear to God, I could have sworn when I was 15, I was like, this is going to get canceled. There's no way. This is so embarrassing. But it's like, fucking 20 seasons or something ridiculous. So it goes to show what I know about what people like and will fund.
Well, from experience knowing some of the people from Ghost Hunters, I'm friends with one of the girls who was one of the investigators. I've seen the crazies that come at her. Mm-hmm. So I can only imagine that the people who are like super duper into that kind of thing, they just have no limit. They will watch anything. They will support anything. They're like, I believe in ghosts. Don't get me wrong. I totally do. But I don't believe in, it doesn't make me insane the way a lot of these people are like, you're kind of nuts.
Right.
Like, what's wrong with you? Relax.
Yeah, I think that what I'm realizing now is that, like, to me, this guy seemed really, like, unsuited to this sort of work because of how goofy and, like, over-the-top broy and, like, the amount of hair gel, Jamie, and I'm not saying that as, like, it's a Guy Fieri kind of hair gel. Like,
all I can picture is, like, one of the dudes from Jersey Shore.
Exactly. And he is, I think, their effort to reach across the aisle from the normal nerds that are into this sort of thing and attract a different crowd that's a little bit, like, feels like they are left out of some of the, what I always think of is, like, in Connecticut, there was a huge Italian population that was really into astrology and psychics. And one of my her friends did, like, the charts, your birth charts and whatnot. And she did, like, a fucking roaring trade. She did really well for herself just doing that. And I kind of feel like a lot of shows cater to a sort of like a Wiccan, witchy sort of crowd. And sure. This was the show that was like, no, we need to get at, like, the Catholics or something. We need to get some people in here who are, like, getting their nails done every weekend, but also definitely think their attic's haunted. Yeah. So anyway. So Ghost Adventures is what I kept thinking of with this thing, except that they're not as terrible as that guy. And there's this dude that shows up who's obviously shady as hell and really weird looking and clearly a monster, and nobody sees it because they all see monsters everywhere except for where monsters actually are. Bless their hearts.
Can we talk about how, I know you forgot most of the episode, but I like the little charming story that is told of, like, how they went from, talking about this stuff to really getting to know each other, to, like, bringing food and singing songs and playing ELO. And it was so cute. And then this jackass shows up and ruins all their fun.
He sure does.
Plus, that song, Mr. Blue Sky, is, like, one of my top 5 favorite songs of all time.
I really enjoy how you said this jackass shows up and ruins all their fun, because there are so many. I feel like that's just sort of like the inevitable fate of groups like this, is that you have, like, your good run, and then all it takes is one person to kind of ruin the vibe. And if one person is insufferable enough, everybody will stop coming. And all it takes is one to make the whole thing completely fall apart, you know?
Yep.
And I have just seen this happen. There was a friend of mine too, who recently had this going on. She was in a knitting group, and there was one woman who came and monopolized the entire conversation and overtalked everybody. And it had been this lovely, like, really close-knit group of people, no pun intended, and after this woman started to come, people just stopped showing up. And my friend was the one who had created the group to begin with and had her feelings quite hurt when she found out that they had low-key started a separate group and not told her. Because they just wanted to avoid this one other person, and nobody really had the heart to, you know. And I get that, but also, like, she was really bummed.
I don't get that.
I get
was this person that ruined it for everybody your friend's friend?
No, it was not. But she was somebody who was like in a position where she obviously didn't have any friends of her own, and my friend felt really bad about putting her on the spot when she wasn't technically doing anything really wrong. She was just obnoxious.
Yeah.
You know? And so how do you tell somebody that basically your personality is bad? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, yeah, it was just... So this whole thing is... The way that this goes down, it's really amusing to me that it turns out that this dude is literally eating people. Because...
Well, he's absorbing them.
I mean, call it what you want, but isn't that what eating really is?
Yes, but usually when you eat something, their face doesn't exist on your skin to talk to you.
I mean, speak for yourself. But yeah, it's a very nice sort of, like, I think unintentional metaphor for somebody coming in and taking things over and ruining what was a lovely setup for everybody else.
What frustrates me is that they all just are like, oh, okay, yes, please give us orders. We'll just do what you say. Like, why weren't any of them like, who the fuck are you?
That's what I think, like, was his brilliance when he showed up, is that he zeroed in on a group that, like, claimed that they wanted to get at the truth of things, but had lapsed into, well, we're actually just friends who hang out. Yeah. And he came in and was kind of like, well, you said that this is what you wanted. And they kind of felt like put on the spot, like, I guess we did. Like, that was the reason we started all this. So... okay, I mean, maybe it's a good idea for us to get back to, like, what our original intention was with this. And
he did have more information than they did.
Exactly.
He had tapped into Torchwood or whatever.
So if anything, they probably felt like it was quite a boon to have found him to join the group, because he was bringing info that they originally had been after, probably. So, yeah. I feel like... if you are in a group like this and you had a goal and that didn't seem to work out, but somebody shows up and seems to be like the exact position of like inside info and authority, you're like, oh, okay, actually maybe this might be an official group after all, you know, and we can all hang out outside of the group as well, but that'll be what this turns into.
But they don't hang out outside of the group. And
no,
then
they don't.
When individuals start disappearing, they just take his word for it. Like, this girl, Bliss, she's the first one that disappears, right? Mm-hmm. And they're like, has anybody heard from Bliss? And he's like, oh, she's getting married. And they don't even question it.
No, I know.
She's never even mentioned having a boyfriend.
Listen, it doesn't make any sense, Jamie. You're not going to get an argument from me about that. A lot of how this all works is baffling and nonsense. It's fine.
Yes. I mean, we'll get to how it ends.
Okay. Yeah.
So Bliss disappears. Elton tracks down the doctor and, like, freaks out and runs away. That's, like, what we saw at the beginning.
I just got to the part, London
Investigation Detective Agency.
That's what Jamie was saying to me, guys, as I was, like, starting up my recording. And I stopped and went, what? And she's like, when they make the little, and I was like, oh my God. Oh, that episode. Oh no. I don't know what else you could have said that would have like reminded me that strongly, because I forgot so much of this.
I don't know. Part of me wishes I hadn't, so that I could have seen what would happen when you start talking about Fear Her, and I'm like,
and you're just sitting there like,
what?
God damn.
Oh shit! So you've seen the next episode?
Yeah, I have. I have already. What a weird one too. Yeah. But yeah, they're writing stories and things as well, which I enjoy. That's the last time you see the ghost train. Oh my God. Come on.
Yeah.
Is that the cutest thing?
Mr. Skinner is his name? Mr. Skinner?
Yeah.
He's writing a book.
I love it so much. I love that they get together and all bring little cakes and pies and goodies and whatnot and read stories. This is great,
It's very fun.
Dude had to ruin it. I guess they're all having a kind of a group in his belly. I don't know. How much can they talk to each other?
Well, Bliss can't.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless he's standing.
God, don't. Okay. So I'm trying to find, like, I have the episode on to remind me of things. Oh my God, I forgot about how they like play the guitar, and she's got the tambourine. Moaning Myrtle with a tambourine. Can I tell you guys how much I have always assumed that the voice that she had in Harry Potter was like a put-on voice, but it appears now that this is just her voice?
Did you never see Bridget Jones' Diary?
I did. Is she in that?
Yeah, she plays one of Bridget's friends.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all. Huh. Okay.
And Gaius Baltar. He's also her gay friend.
Oh, right. I do remember him. And he wrote that bad techno song that everybody's like still remembering him for, weirdly.
I love that movie.
But yeah, so this dude, when he turns up, I mean, guys, look at this man.
Now, this guy is apparently a pretty big comedian in the UK.
He was 100% ringing a bell for me, but
his name is Peter Kay, and Juliet mentioned him when we were discussing this episode, like the likelihood of you hating it or not. Mm-hmm. And I don't know who he is, so I looked him up, and I don't know who he is. But he's pretty big in the UK, apparently.
I'm trying to see what we've got in terms of the Amazon X-Ray. Let's see. Phoenix Nights, Max and Patty's Road to Nowhere, Car Share, Britain's Got the Pop Factor, and possibly a new celebrity Jesus Christ soap star superstar Strictly on Ice. I'm sorry. Excuse me?
What?
That's the title. After this, there's parentheses 2008. Britain's Got the Pop Factor, and possibly a new celebrity Jesus Christ soap star superstar Strictly on Ice.
That is the most British thing.
Good God in heaven.
Also, like, it could be a complete satire of celebrity culture and the kind of stupid things that get put on television, and I would believe either way. Whether it's a fake thing or a real thing, I totally believe that someone would make that.
I can't, like, I'm looking at this. It's still just not, it's not sinking in that this is a title. Oh, he was in Blow Dry. That's it. That's what I remember him that. From. It's not good. Don't do it. It's fun, actually. It's fun. But yeah. And there's a picture, I think it's him, with like a totally shaved head and glasses, and this is a look that I remember from something else. And him and Rebel Wilson, I think, are supposed to be like brother and sister in that. But I'm not remembering what that was. Anyway, this is not interesting to listen to. My apologies, everybody.
Oh, wait.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Is that ringing a bell for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's him.
Maybe it's not. He's in a picture, like, the way Amazon X-Ray works can be kind of confusing sometimes, because it'll post, like, the titles of a bunch of stuff that they're known for, but then it'll have just the posters for things that they were in and not necessarily, quote, known for. And this is a poster that doesn't have a title under it or anything, and the photo on the front, like, it looks like it could be him if he wasn't wearing this insane wig and somebody gave him glasses. But I'm not positive. Well, but anyway, this dude is walking in here like fucking like Doc Ock with his walking cane and fur collared coat and fedora. I don't even think that's quite a fedora. It's got a wider brim. But yeah, the look, I mean, of course, as soon as he walks in, you're just like, okay, what are you? Because you're obviously something.
Yeah.
But they are just apparently sort of like willing to follow his lead on all of this stuff, and tells them about the Doctor and has video of the TARDIS and the whole thing. There is a real weird subplot about how the sound of the TARDIS reminds Elton of the night when his mother died.
Yep.
And I do not understand why anybody felt the need for this. Do you know what I mean?
I can't explain the thought processes of the people who wrote this episode. It would have been enough for him to have just seen what he saw in London and stumbled upon the knowledge of the Doctor without there having been this weird history where his mother died and the Doctor had gotten there too late to save her. Mm-hmm. I agree. It seems like it was trying really hard to tug at heartstrings.
It really was. And why, like, you guys have to know that this isn't gonna happen, right? Like, there's no way in an episode that is this goofy otherwise that you're gonna get us to genuinely care what the fuck happened with this guy and his mom. Nobody cares. I don't care. And it tries so hard by having him look dramatically into the distance when he hears the TARDIS sound with this, like, expression of confusion and bewilderment and memory. And I really thought it was going to be, once it was revealed why he was having this reaction, it was going to be funny. That it was like him being reminded of the terrible time when he fell down the stairs in front of a bunch of people and how traumatic it was to be so humiliated falling down the stairs. Something that we're going to pretend for the sake of the show is like a terrific tragedy, and it will be hilarious because of how out of proportion it is, because everything is so over dramatic. And then it turns out to genuinely be that his mother died. What are you guys thinking?
I just had to look up and see who wrote this, because something about that and your take on it made me think, did fucking Stephen Moffat write this? He did not. This was written by Russell T Davies, who was the showrunner at the time, so we can blame him.
Russell, honey, sweetie, no, nobody cares. This dude's mom is so not a factor in anything. You already had him losing Ursula.
Yeah.
Why did you need to add another bit of tragedy in there? What good did that do in any way?
Yeah, the story's tragic enough where this poor guy loses his entire group of friends.
Yeah, you know, like everybody that he cared about and had anything in common with is wiped off the face of the earth. I think we're good.
Actually, they were absorbed by the earth. I'm sorry.
Jamie, I'm going to turn this fucking show off right now. I swear to God. And it won't hurt me at all, because I watched Fear Her.
God. I want to ask you questions and I have to wait a week.
You have to wait a week. Suckers.
Well, can we talk about Jackie?
All right, let's talk about Jackie.
Can we just skip ahead and talk about Jackie?
Poor Jackie. She's just, you know, she's great, and she deserves so much better than this.
So thirsty.
She is. And it's so funny how, like, the show keeps on trying to frame it as like her lusting after this young boy. And I just cannot see him that way because he acts like he's like 11 years old to me. So for me, there was an extra creep level because of how like innocent he is. The fact that she's after him, I'm just like, oh, Jackie.
My favorite thing is when she's like, oh, I got some wine on you. You should take your shirt off. We'll throw it in the laundry. Oh, no, it's not that bad. She just spills her whole glass of him.
Throws it at him. Oh, my God. And he gets himself all psyched up. Like, he's like, all right, you know what? I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to do it. And then once he comes out, she's totally like, yeah, never mind. I've had a change of heart. She got a call from
Rose.
Yep.
But all her little things, having him come over and like fix things. And he's like, she must have the most like unlucky apartment in the entire city. So all these things just keep breaking. Like, oh, Jackie.
So mysterious.
Like, on one hand, I feel very sorry because she's so lonely and sad that Rose is off running around without her.
Gallivanting is the word you want. Gallivanting.
But then, on the other hand, Jackie has presented herself. She set a precedent here with, like, her reaction to the first time she met the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that she's got these boyfriends now and again. Mm-hmm. What's his face? Who had Satsuma in his
pocket in his robes. Yeah.
He gets hungry. And, you know, like, it wasn't surprising that Jackie be like, oh, look at this little
dish.
Young piece. Dish.
Called him a young piece. Good God.
And, like, what is she? She's supposed to be, like, 40. Like, she's still a young woman. She looks really pretty in this episode. Like, super pretty.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Of course, she's wearing a little dress that I think she got from Rose's closet.
Oh, did she? Oh, that makes sense.
I don't know that for a fact, but it is far too young for her. So, the little, like, sort of pleated skirt. And I was like...
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that. But of course, she's definitely going to be stealing from Rose's closet. Like, why would you not do that?
Yeah.
That is really funny. God, I can't believe I didn't think of that. But yeah. Jackie, I just want her to be happy. And I feel bad because, like, between her and Mickey, it's like everybody is just sort of, like, in Rose's shadow forever.
Yeah.
You know? I just feel like her feeling as betrayed as she does is the sort of thing that I might have not had any patience for if I watched this at a younger age. And now I really understand that feeling of just like, I just wanted something that was just mine. And I can't believe that this person that I really didn't even dream was connected in any way also is, like, in the end, only after me because of their interest in my daughter. Like, not, you know, like, how disappointing and humiliating as well. It's gotta be, you know?
But she also is like, I will always protect my daughter, and that means protecting him, too.
That's true. I just feel bad.
Because I think there's a part of it, like, oh, of course, this is about Rose. But then there's also, like, her mama bear thing of, like, how dare you try to get to her, to them, through me? Who do you think you are?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the thing is, like, she's not wrong about exactly what the fuck is happening here. It's just that we know that she's coming into it too late and everything has changed for him and he's realized, like, oh, this is actually wrong. I don't like this. We're not being cool.
And he realized, like, I really like her. She's such a nice woman. I want to be friends with her. Mm-hmm. And that totally could have been possible if she hadn't gone through his pockets.
Yep. Yeah. So it's really her fault.
No, it's not.
No, I'm not saying that, really.
He knows that he was wrong.
Yeah. I feel bad for him too in some ways, but God, I mean, and if it's just so awful that he's just trying to find out about the doctor out of sheer curiosity for information. And we know how he's been put up to this because this weirdo wants to absorb the Doctor.
Yeah, because the information that they had, which was very limited, they had some information about the TARDIS. Like, the TARDIS has been seen throughout history. They had, like, pictures of like, not cave drawings, like Egyptian hieroglyphs with a TARDIS. Whatever.
So goofy.
But they didn't know about his companion. They didn't look into anything really all that seriously. Mm-hmm. And then this guy comes along and he's like, to find the Doctor, we have to find this girl. And he's got all these pictures of Rose that he got from the Torchwood files.
This is so funny. I knew it was going to take an unending search and then, oh yeah, that's Rose. She lives over there with her mother. Nice family. Bit weird. It's like one of the first people he asks knows precisely where she lives, her address, everything. That's pretty good. That was an unexpected one.
And then, he knows all of these, like, steps you have to take to, like, get information from someone, and he doesn't have to say anything or ask anything because Jackie just gives him all the information he needs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has himself all, like, mentally prepped to zero in on the target, make conversation, and she's like, hi! Oh, man, I hate coming here. How's your day? I live here. What's your name? Want to get a drink? And he's just like, I can't believe how good I am at this. I was made for this work.
See, now, if I could be more like Jackie at work, where I just start talking about whatever to everybody, I wouldn't have any issues.
They're, like, you have met these people, though, right? They weird you out.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean... That's how Owen, when he tries to describe what his parents are like, he describes them, and I've heard him do this more than once, and the first time I was kind of like, that's a weird way to say it. And then as I got used to it, I was like, no, that really is a good shorthand. He describes his parents as the people who just start talking to you in the line at Walmart. And kind of weirdly overshare and have like shit to say that you're kind of like, I don't know why you're telling me this. I don't know you. It's that kind of vibe. And so yeah, I feel like Jackie is like a much more charming and normal version of that. But if I were not a dude who I felt like maybe she's hitting on me, and she talked to me like this, I'd just be like, this is weird. Like, I gotta go. Or I'd put my headphones in real quick or something.
Yeah.
That emergency, like, I have a call, and there's nobody on your phone. We all know there's nobody there. It's fine. Anyway.
Yeah. I just don't strike up conversations with people, and it saves me a lot of trouble.
Why would you want to? People are terrible.
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah. I don't blame you. Girl, don't blame yourself. You're the logical one. They're the ones putting some weird expectation on you to somehow just go out into the world and engage with everybody. Like you don't read comment sections and know exactly what the hell is out there waiting for you. Come on.
Yeah. I don't know why a hi, how you doing isn't enough. Isn't that enough? How's your day? Can't that be enough?
Guys. I don't know if you can hear the plaintiveness in her voice, but this is a real question she's asking. Isn't it enough? Please. Oh, God.
Please don't make me talk to more people.
Yeah, it's sort of funny, too, because I've always been somebody who, like, detests small talk and everything that it represents, but I'm also excellent at it.
Well, please really teach me how.
I don't want to because it's
Give
the worst.
me some clues because I am terrible at it, mostly because I feel like I have a giant neon sign over my head that says, I'm awkward, and everyone's going to see it.
Oh, God. Or a giant sign on your head that says, conversation mode initiated. It's just really obviously like part of your job and you're not here enjoying this. Like, I mean,
I just have to fake it. And sometimes it feels natural. And sometimes I'm like, God, I'm bothering you. I'm sorry. I'm going to go back to making your drink.
The key to remember is that in small talk, you feel like you're saying the same thing to everybody all the time, and but it's everybody has not heard you say this to them before. So unless they're a regular, but if you come up with like a good line for the day, you're pretty much set. Okay.
But here's the thing. There's this girl that I worked with at my old store, and she kind of did that. And she's one of those people that it's like, she's very awkward and kind of off-putting, and yet customers really respond to her. But she would do that. And like, we would just be like, oh my God, if I have to hear this story one more time today.
But nobody cares about you. Who cares?
I know.
She's getting that shit done. I bet her numbers were good.
No.
Oh, the disdain. Listen.
Talk about it in a public space.
That's the thing, is like, if you are going to be good at that sort of thing, you're going to be annoying to the people you work with. There's no way to be likable to customers and your like fellow employees. Like,
I don't accept this. I need to be likable to everyone.
I'm not saying that there's no way, but it's pretty tricky. And if you don't enjoy it and you're not really like somebody who's just good at it, I would just put that ambition out of your mind altogether until you're into the advanced levels.
I don't have a choice. This is how I'm going to advance.
You do have a choice. You just have to choose the customers and choose that everybody else not like you.
Yeah, I guess.
It's fine. Just temporary.
I'll just explain to them, here's my line for the day.
You guys are all going to need to be okay with this. Once I level up, you won't have to hear it again.
Until I level up.
Yeah, and then once you've leveled up...
Then I'm going to force you guys to do it.
Right, and that's the other thing. Is if they, like, take your lead, I mean, how great would it be if you all just had, like, a whiteboard with lines on it, and you used the one line the first day, and then they get to take that line the next day, and do something of their own with it. So the line, you, the first day, say, these pretzels are making me thirsty. And then the next day, they say, these pretzels are making me thirsty. And, we all know that it's the same line, but for customers, it's new to their ears, and it's feeling very original.
That line might not feel very original.
I bet you it could. I bet you that, if they're fucking... What is the newest generation who didn't watch Seinfeld?
I don't know.
They're going to be like, oh wow, do you allowed to have water bottles back there? How does that work? They won't know. They won't know. You know what you should do? Just use Seinfeld lines. Period. You don't have to invent them. Don't reinvent the wheel here, Jamie. Just go ahead and start saying you're so good looking.
Can I pick a different show? I don't know Seinfeld very well.
All right, I guess you could pick... I'm trying to think of something that's like equally like strange. But
Friends.
Friends is not strange. Friends is pretty much as basic as it gets.
Excuse me.
Listen, I'm right.
I just know that show inside out, so I could probably pick any line from any episode and repeat it.
What would you pick?
Well, now you're putting me on the spot.
Yes, you just said I know that show inside out. You're the one who made this highfalutin claim.
But all I can think of are like silly things that aren't conversation starters. like when Joey saw the lost and found box and his shoe was in there, and he goes, "My shoe." That's not a conversation starter. That's just going to make me laugh at myself. Or to myself.
Weird. Okay. Moving on.
See, this episode doesn't have a lot to talk about.
You could just do like I don't feel like I'm being pulled down so much as I'm being pushed. Start your day with some conversations about how you don't believe in gravity. I feel like that's a real good one. That'll spark some discourse. Yeah, you know what would be fun if you cultivated like a character for yourself, especially if it's a store that you're going to be leaving.
Yeah.
So you could be like conspiracy theory chick.
Be Phoebe.
And yeah, just like I think the Earth is flat. I think vaccines are not real.
Please stop. I would hate myself. I wouldn't even be able to get through one sentence of trying to be like one of those people. Because I'd be like, you know what? Just poison my drink now.
Just for a day. The flat earthers are my particular favorite because it's just such a pointless thing to believe. It's just really like, why?
Yeah.
Because they want to enslave us. They have. You don't need a flat earth for that.
Do they believe? Is that what they think?
That's what they think, that the earth is actually flat, but that it's like ruled by a kind of like upper class that's trying to keep us blinkered and under their control because they're the ones with access to all of the resources because we don't even know how the world functions. That's like the gist. And it's just amusing to me because like, I don't think the earth is flat and I still think that's true. You know, like you don't need that. That's just a weird
I love that meme that has all the different planets and then a flat earth.
Yes.
Like, yeah, totally makes sense.
But it goes all the way to the top. Everybody who's ever gone skydiving and we've seen the curvature of the earth, they're in on it. 100%.
Well, then I should really talk to my boyfriend.
Listen, you might not want to bring it up because we'll never hear from you again. He's going to realize that you started to figure it out, and that's just going to be the end of you.
We should also consult Keanu Reeves, who skydived in a movie. But for real, skydived, so he would know. Is the earth flat, Keanu?
What a weird jump to make. I want to talk to my boyfriend about it. Also, we could talk to Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves is always on my mind.
Oh my god, that's so strange.
When I was thinking of skydiving, I started thinking about Point Break. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah.
Off the rails.
All right. So, like, honestly, though, what more is there to be said about what happens here?
Just that this creature is from the twin planet of Raxacoricocephalopatorius.
Okay.
Which was the Slidine's planet.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
You know, it's really funny because there's like a billion different species on our planet, but once I hear that more than one type of alien is on a planet in this, I'm just like, that seems weird.
Well, he's not from the same planet. He's from the twin planet. Because Rose is like, does he seem a little Slitheen? And the doctor asks him, and he says, oh, are you from, I'm not going to be able to say it again, and he says, no, I'm from the twin planet, Clom. And the doctor's like, Clom?
That's right. That's what he says, because it's really funny, because the other one had way more syllables than that.
Yep.
I get it.
And, like, so this guy, he absorbs people. What did the Slitheen do? They, like,
unzipped their skins and stole their bodies.
Right.
By taking, like...
They're just using their skin.
Yeah. It was unclear what happened to the rest of them. Because they peeled their heads open. But yeah. And like the scene where he absorbs Ursula is the dumbest. Like, it's so bad, guys. I can't even handle how bad it is. How long it takes for her to be absorbed is also especially awkward. And the fact that I can't separate moments like that from thinking about the actor having to continue acting this scene out for probably like 3 straight hours and how goofy it is and that they had to just do this for so long.
Maybe they got it in one take.
You can dream all you like, but...
Yeah.
All these faces sticking out of him. Mm-hmm. So gross. Yeah. I got nothing else.
Yeah. So the doctor and Rose show up, and Rose is very angry because he upset her mum.
Mm-hmm.
And then they take care of this Absorbaloff. Which is what he's called.
That was the one joke in this that I really loved. Was him, like, running through a bunch of names and then coming up with Absorbaloff and the monster being like, yeah, no, I like that one. And then later on when he says it to the doctor as well, and the doctor's like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that's a good one. as well. Him getting that kind of weird validation amused me.
So they destroy him by breaking his cane, and he falls apart and seeps into the earth. And then later the doctor decides to try to do one last thing because Rose has a giant heart and sees how sad poor Elton is. And the doctor is able to partially restore Ursula by having her face stuck in this block of concrete.
Which is like a Black Mirror episode. This is not a good thing.
All I could think about was, well, he like lifts it up and like puts her on his lap. And I'm like, it's fucking concrete though. That's going to be really heavy. You're going to move that thing around all the time. And also, you're just going to grow old and she's going to stay here, just a face in a block of concrete.
There's a genuine episode of Black Mirror in which, like, something sort of like this happens. And they had wanted to stay together so desperately, but after 10 years, it gets really old.
Yeah.
And she doesn't, the whole thing is really, honestly, more tragic for how it ends, even though that's supposed to be a plus. I was just like, well, that's fucking horrifying. Like, he's never going to be able to move on with his life because of this concrete face that will resent him until he dies. That's cool.
Yeah. And then he's like,
Can you imagine having people over and she's in your cabinet? Like, what do you do?
I don't know.
And especially, like, if you're trying to, like, just, you know, go to work and live your life and make friends, and you talk about your girlfriend, and then eventually somebody wants to, like, be friends and come over and meet your girlfriend, you can't let them meet your girlfriend. So then they think you've been lying the whole time.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. So the doctor thinks he did a nice thing, and we're supposed to think he did a nice thing, but really just screwed this guy's life forever.
Yeah. And hers. Like, what is she going to do?
Yeah.
Just fucking sit there staring at the ceiling until he comes home all day.
Does she age?
I don't know. What's worse?
Being a face in a block of concrete is worse.
I mean, obviously. I'm talking about, is it worse than that she age or not?
Oh. Not. Because if she's just now immortal and he grows old and dies and then she's just this face in a block of concrete.
Yeah.
That's worse than Moaning Myrtle. At least Moaning Myrtle can float around in the S-Bend.
Man, can you, like, especially if he died, of course, like I said, he wouldn't have told anybody about her. So she's going to startle the hell out of somebody who finds his body. Like,
how does
she's going to have to sit there waiting for them to find him.
She just doesn't have to eat anymore?
I guess. She doesn't have a body to upkeep. I don't know how much energy that takes. Maybe she's like a plant now and she can photosynthesize what she needs.
Everybody
Anyway.
thinks that there's this, like, low-key blowjob joke.
Agreed.
Okay.
I 100% assumed that's what that was. We even have a bit of a love life. They don't want to talk about that. Like, 100%. What else is there going to be? Give me one other thing that could have meant.
Nothing. Children would
Literally
think kissing.
Nothing. Mm-hmm.
It's
kissing what?
Mouths.
I rest my case.
But because this is a show for children and for shut up. because this is a show for families, children would think it means kissing, and adults are going to be like, oh.
Children won't think it means kissing.
And look,
children aren't that stupid.
Some children are that stupid.
Jamie said defensively. Excuse me. Some children are that stupid.
Some children.
No need to be rude.
All I can think in picturing this, which I don't want to picture it, is concrete is fucking heavy.
I mean, it's not exactly soft, is it? I imagine she doesn't have saliva.
I don't know. How does this work? Let's just move on.
You brought it up. I would like to submit to the court that I did not bring it up.
I can't just let it go. I had to bring it up.
That's what she said.
It totally works.
Just like, I mean, they don't make fleshlights out of cement, do they? This is not appealing. Nobody wants this.
No, they do not.
Just no, you know? And I just can't get over the silliness of the revelation about his mother. And I can't get over either how sincerely he acted that moment and how not at all sincerely Rose Tyler acted that moment, because the contrast between the way the two of them are playing this is really something. He's given it his all. He's like, I am on Dr. fucking Who and I'm going to do this. And Rose is like, I'm so sorry.
She's not laughing.
She's not actually laughing, but there is, you know that look that people get where they don't have to be laughing and you can see in their eyes? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's what's going on right there.
I was going to say I'll have to go back and look at her, because I don't think I really looked at Rose in that scene, but I'm not going to.
No. I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to rewind this a little bit and I'm going to take a screenshot so that I can show it to you.
Okay.
Because I felt bad for him in that I feel like he really is giving it everything he has. And it's just, I don't want to say it's like disrespectful of her. It's just probably a bummer for him as an actor to be taking this as seriously as he is. I'm looking at her right now. I'm sending this to you in this moment because you got to see it. Hold on. Everybody wait. Everybody hold on. I'm going to send it to you via text message.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's her making like a fake sympathetic face in the style of when a little kid drops their candy on the ground and is really bummed. And you're like, oh, that sucks, sweetie. I'm sorry. But it's not like you're really, like, it's not a big deal and you don't care. And the kid's going to get another piece of candy and it'll be fine. That's the face that she's making when he's realizing that, you know, his mother died. Like, anyway, hold on. I found it. I'm sending it to you now.
So, okay. While you do that, the monster that they're chasing in that warehouse or whatever, I guess it heavily resembled the Sycorax from the Christmas Invasion episode. And when people saw it on the Next Time on Doctor Who trailer, everybody thought that it meant that the Sycorax were coming back, which I think is kind of funny. All right. Yeah, because did they like use similar parts? Like probably reusing the costume, right? Or did you see it? Do you see what I'm saying? This guy's got literal tears in his eyes. He's acting the shit out of this. And she just can't be asked at all. Like, I feel like I need to make this my like cover picture of my Facebook page. I might have to make it the cover picture on the Doctor Who group.
Well, I'll definitely use it as the image for this episode. That's definitely going to be the one that I use, because it's just pretty much sums up the whole vibe of how uneven all of this is. They phoned this in quite hard.
Made me cry a little bit. So hard. Tears came out of my eyes. Oh, want to move on to reviews?
Okay, yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's do that.
Okay. I have to close my phone.
I just keep looking at it and I can't stop laughing. Oh, God.
So the first one is Fantastic 5 Stars by Super Steve 01 from the US. One of my favorite podcasts covering one of my favorite shows. Very much looking forward to more episodes. Yay. Thank you. And the second one is another great show from Unspoiled, 5 stars by Vanessa Aaron from the US. As someone who has watched, rewatched, and endlessly discussed Doctor Who, it is so much fun to listen to the opinions of someone who is unspoiled on this ridiculous show. Whether you're already a fan of Doctor Who or have wanted to get into it and haven't for whatever reason, this podcast is definitely for you. Natasha and Jamie have amazing chemistry and always make me laugh. It is hilarious listening to them run around in circles as they try to reason with how unreasonable Doctor Who can be. 5 stars, A+, 10 out of 10. Hi, Malcolm.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa.
They try to reason with how unreasonable Doctor Who can be. That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Feels like that sums it up.
That sums up this episode.
Indeed. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
What?
My cat just licked my face. He just jumped up here and licked my face.
Well, he loves you.
He's a weirdo. Hi.
You should sacrifice something to him to please him.
Oh, my God. I thought you were going to say I should sacrifice him. Like, how dare you?
He loves you. You should sacrifice him. The gods are pleased when you kill those you love. It means more. I just want to say hi to new patrons. I haven't done this in a minute, so bear with me, everybody. Sarah Jane Crawford, Jana, Robin Pascoe, Lazarus, Kristen Ingram, Megan Belstedt, Danny, Heather Gordon, Nora R., Stephanie Galvez, Mia, Kayla S., Emma Torrey, Anna Connolly, Michael, Mia Gray, Andrea Hernandez, Vicky, Kayla Maurice, Sarah Marsteller, Miriam Doust, Alicia Whitenack. It might be Alicia or it might be Elisha, and I read recently that it's really pronounced Elisha, so I'm going to say both. Monica King, Jem Noby, Luke Blunier, Laurel Armster, Kat Slater, Morgan Peters, Jessica Haig, Anonymous, Christina Doss, Robin Howell, Maddie D, Matthew Hogaboom. Love that name. I love it so much. Hogaboom. Haley Reeves and Matt TV, or Matt V. Matt TV. Either way. Welcome to all of you beautiful people. And thank you all so much for pledging.
Is that all just for the month of March?
What's that?
Is that for the month of March?
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's like back till mid-February.
Huh, sweet.
Because I had not done this in a minute, so I just wanted to go ahead and do it. And I also, if you became a patron during a period where I had not been doing the names because I've been really inconsistent on that, my bad. And you're like, hey, you didn't say my name. And I'd like it if you said my name. You know what? I would also like it if I said your name. Please email me, unspoiledpodcast@gmail.com, and I will say your name. I will do that shit.
Say their name. Say their name.
Because you are a patron, you deserve that bacon. I don't know. But yeah, I really want to give everybody credit if they are doing this. It's how I make my whole living. So you deserve some credit for supporting me on that. And speaking of being supportive, I want to throw out a special thank you to everybody who donated recently to a fundraiser that was started by the illustrious Jackie Gunn. She saw a post in which I was worrying about one of my computers dying. I have a laptop and a desktop. My desktop's been acting real weird. My laptop, which I was depending on for backup, simply died. And I realized, if anything happens to my desktop now, I am so screwed, and you guys really need to be ready for my potentially going off the air for a little while I figure out what I can do. And Jackie was like, well, I can figure out what you can do, and that is accept money from strangers. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And she just set it up. I didn't have to do anything. Guys, I just checked it this second. Jamie?
Is it over the 2,000 mark?
It sure is.
Yay!
It's at $2,110.
Holy shit!
Guys, as of this moment, this has not even been up 48 hours. And it's, y'all.
Has it been up 24? She just started it yesterday.
She started it Tuesday night.
Oh.
Around 8 p.m. my time. So 8 p.m. yesterday, one full day. And we're at 6:30 p.m. now.
Okay.
So, you guys.
You guys are amazing.
I just don't like, and I was talking to Jamie about this before we started. I have such an easier time when, like, Rashawn is like, I don't want to start a GoFundMe. I feel weird about it. And I'm just like, shut up. People love you. They want to help you. Shut up. And then when it's my turn, I'm just like, I don't feel weird about it. I mean, you know, if you want to, like, help me out a little bit, that's fine. But, like, I don't want to ask for too much, and I just want to...
Well, like I said in a comment to you, you weren't asking. You didn't ask. You expressed your situation, and people started saying, what can I do to help? And you were like, I can't ask you to do this. And I said, you're not asking. People are offering.
No.
Jackie just texted me.
Jackie, you maniac.
She's like, oh my God, it went over.
I just can't tell. Like, guys, it just happened so fast. Everybody was so, like, immediately when I posted that message, like, hey, guys, just FYI, there might be something that goes down if this happens, and be just ready for that. And everybody immediately, well, can I give you money? Can I help you? What can I do? Can I, you know? And I was just like, oh. And I posted that and then had to drive an hour home. So by the time I opened it up again and checked the responses, there was like 30 people. And then when she had asked, like, can I set that up? I was like, yeah, okay. You know what? Sure. And then I went into the gym and I was in there for an hour and I came out and it was already up to like $250 over an hour. And I just kind of had to like put my phone down and just be like, I'm not going to think about this anymore because I can't think about it right now. I'm getting overwhelmed. And yesterday I did a video on the page, not the patrons group. I did it on the main Unspoiled page and just like lost my shit. I just cried through half of it.
I watched it today because I saw it this morning, but I was at work and I was like, I'm sure she's going to cry and I'm not going to watch this while I'm at work. And so I watched it when I got home just because I wanted to see what you said and it made me cry. So
I have that effect. My crying makes people cry, I have found.
I mean, I'm kind of a baby and I pretty much cry at everything and will cry. If I see someone crying, it like triggers that response, but I care about you. And so you being overwhelmed and so grateful made me cry a little bit too.
It really is like, and I said this in the video, not saying that like my parents were neglectful or anything. It's not that. It's just always been hard. For us to be able to manage, you know, anybody who has grown up without everything they need at all times knows what that's like and how you get to a point where you start to feel like maybe you don't deserve to have everything.
Or you get to a point where you're like, why does everything have to be so fucking hard?
Yeah. You know, and it's like, you just get to be, I mean, Jamie knows, she'll be like, well, why don't you ask somebody to help you? And I'm like, because they won't. Like, they'll say they will and they'll mean it when they say it and they won't. And that's just, I've just grown to be aware of that and take matters into my own hands and rely on myself. And I'm not even like mad about it. You know, it's just how it is. And I understand that people mean well when they say things and I get it. It's a lot, you know, I've volunteered for things and meant it when I said it and then not been able to follow through. So I'm not even harboring ill will over that. It's just a sort of like fact of the world. So then to have this just completely taken care of in 2 days is just unbelievable. Like, it's frankly unbelievable. And it's
not completely taken care of. We're going to keep trying to raise a little bit more money. I would like you, as I've said to you, I would like you to be able to just pay for all of it outright and maybe have a little left over to help with other things.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys, just thank you all so much for everybody who donated. I also hadn't seen like all of the messages until last night. The people were leaving like really sweet comments and stuff that I hadn't even seen. And
there's one guy from like Sweden or something. He works in a lab. Did you see his?
Cal Ryman.
Yeah.
Ryman? I'm not sure how to say his name, but yeah, he posted a picture of himself.
Yeah.
Happy to give back as many a workday has passed with me listening to Natasha and Co. I work in the lab and it helps pass the time. Oh, that's nice. And there's another photo as well from Allie Hayes Brady. And she posted a photo of herself. I moved to a new country recently, and I really love being able to lose myself in your podcast when I'm feeling a little lonely. You do so much, and I'm so happy I can do something to help keep this amazing thing going. Slante from sunny Melbourne. and she's got a glass and is giving me a cheers.
Yeah.
Just like, and so many, like Ann Thomas is over here. I've been with Unspoiled since the beginning, and she's not fucking lying. You know, I know her. I know her by now. And the most recent comment is from Katie. I've been listening to Unspoiled since Chex Watch. Holy crap, 2012.
That made me think about, when did I start listening to Unspoiled? And I think it was early 2013. Man. Maybe even late 2012.
I can't believe I've been doing this for 12 years. Or 12 years, do you hear me? 7 years. I'm thinking of 2012, and then I'm just like, wait, what? But yeah, 7
years. Yeah.
I keep thinking 6. I keep forgetting that, like, I started it in January, I think, of 2012.
Did you really?
I think it was January. I feel like it was early in the year. I'll have to double check.
Is that the Song of Ice and Fire?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because when I started listening to The Wire, and you would make references to A Song of Ice and Fire and to Brendan, but you were already not with Brendan anymore. Mm-hmm. And I think you were already with Owen. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I love this podcast, so I'm going to go and listen to her other podcast. And then I listened to all of A Song of Ice and Fire. Like, and really was like, it's so weird, they get along so well. And then, like, you had that episode where you announced your split, and I remember I was like walking and it made me cry.
See, I told you I do that.
I can like picture exactly where I was. I was like, people are gonna think I'm crazy.
The Dobby episode of Harry Potter, I got so many messages from people afterwards that were just like, hey, thanks for making me sob in my car on the way to work.
I was driving.
Yep, there you go.
Yep. Yeah, I was like, I need to control my eyeballs. Like,
I was reading it out loud, and I was like having trouble getting through it. I was about to lose it. Yeah. So it's been a long time, and I constantly forget how much the show has grown and the community has grown, and the fact that we are capable now, both in the number of people involved in the show and how generous every one of those people is it's just really amazing.
I always say that this community that you've built is just really like a bright spot on the internet, and the people that are drawn to Unspoiled and stay with Unspoiled are all like just such good, nice people.
Yep.
And in times like this, you really see, like, you have cultivated a community of good people. Mm-hmm. No shitty people. All these people that are like, I'm sorry, I can only give $5. Like, no, $5 is great.
Yeah, I know. People they'll say to me like they really feel like they're stealing from me or something, and I'm like, my shows are free mostly. It's fine. Like, I am broke also, and I totally get wanting to do something and not being able to. It's okay. Don't feel bad.
I said that to Devin because he was like, I wish I could give something. I just don't have it. I was like, you give plenty.
Mm-hmm. Devin's in all the groups, like, people who don't, first of all, he's a patron. So right there, you know, he's doing more than plenty of people are. Like, he gets credit for that. And also, he's super active in all of the groups. And that is something that helps make people feel excited about being part of this.
Yeah.
Is knowing that there are, like, spaces where if they go and post something, there's going to be somebody around that will engage with them. And that's part of what keeps everything so lively, is knowing that folks are like, you know, part of something and not out here yelling into the void.
And if you can't help out, that's fine too, because not everybody can. And I would hope that nobody feels like they're not doing anything, or they're not, like, I don't want anybody to feel guilty. Because finances are what they are. Not everybody has the means. And that's something I said to Devin, too. Like, not everybody has the means. I'm lucky enough now that I can. But 6 months ago, I wouldn't be able to give much. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I totally understand that. And even if it's $1, that's fine.
Right, like, most of my patrons are $1.
Yeah.
Most of them are, like, in numbers. In terms of, like, the percentage of what I make, I think they're minority. But nevertheless, that's the, like, number of people involved. And like we're seeing, the community is super important. So, and I only just got to the place in the past, like, year where I'm able to pledge to podcasts that I like. I have been listening to shows for a long time and only have recently been financially stable enough because of everybody who's supporting me to be able to pledge to other shows. So it's a snowball.
And if something like this happened to somebody else in your life, you would absolutely like, hey, I can only give this much. But you would because you're a generous person too.
Yep. I mean, I try.
Yeah.
I try when I can, when we can.
Exactly. We do what we can when we can. And if all you can offer is support, like verbal support, that's plenty. Mm-hmm. The fact that so many people have donated to this so quickly is just really heartwarming. And it makes me really proud. I'm just really, really proud to be a part of all of this. Just this community, these podcasts, all of it. It's just a good place. We live in a shitty world, and this gives me hope. We're not all doomed. We are the future. Blah, blah, blah.
We're not all doomed. He said that in such a way. Yeah, so everybody, thank you so much. Thank you to Jackie for, like, doing this.
Yeah.
She just did it, and I didn't have to do it. Like, that's really part of what makes this one in particular for me so different, is that I didn't set this up. I didn't share the links. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
She set it up, gave you a link. You shared it on the page. Mm-hmm. I barely had to even
She did it so fast that she sent me a message that I didn't see in time, asking for my zip code because you have to have an American zip code. And so she wanted to get it done so quickly that she went onto your website and found out your zip code.
Oh, yeah.
And put it on because she didn't want to wait. And I think it was like a half an hour lag between when she sent me the message and when I actually saw it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Here's my zip code. And she's like, oh, I just found hers. That's fine. But thank you. Like, she didn't want to wait. She just wanted to get it going. And just really
it's funny you say that because, like, by the time we were at 500, people send me messages on Facebook to a point where I have to turn my notifications off so I won't see things right away because I can't record with my phone buzzing throughout the thing. So I turn that off and then I'll miss stuff. So I saw, like, hours later that she had texted me, like, is it okay if I make this GoFundMe? It was already at, like, $500 by then.
Yeah.
But yeah, so guys, thank you so much. Thank you, seriously. And I'm really excited about it because I had to take out a line of credit to buy these computers in the first place, which I'm still paying back, and it's just silly. And I bought refurbished machines instead of new ones because I was trying to be careful. And because of this fundraiser, I'm going to be able to get something new and potentially, like, much more powerful than what I've got now, which is really the thing, because this computer just doesn't seem like it's up to the task, and it has been just shutting down in the middle of me doing stuff here and there. So
when you do your taxes next year, can you write it off as a business expense?
Yeah, and I wrote these off, but it only gives you $20 or something for, like, it's not. Yeah. I always think of, I can write it off as it basically being free, and it's, like, practically nothing, really, you know. But it's just I want you all to know that it's not just like you're getting me a replacement computer. You're likely getting me a computer that will be so much better at everything that it's just going to make my life that much easier overall because of how much it's going to speed up virtually every part of this. Saving files, I have to, like, once I edit, I have to convert files and upload and download them. And that always takes fucking ages. And I just, if it's got more RAM and if it's got a lot more capacity in general, that stuff is all going to be so much easier. And that improves everything for me in terms of, like, just fucking my mental health, frankly. My mood will be better, but I'll be able to do more because things will just be, you know, going. And
giving you the gift of time.
Y'all are giving me, it's just, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, I don't know how, like, by the time this episode goes up, I don't think it's going to be up anymore, the fundraiser. I don't know. Maybe it will be.
We haven't really discussed any kind of end date for it.
Yeah. I mean, we're past the actual goal now.
Yeah.
But I guess I'll just let it.
I think she'll probably end up extending the goal a little bit.
Well, we shall see. I don't have to worry about it because she'll do it. It's so great.
Well, what makes me happy about this is that you don't have to worry about how you're going to replace your computer now.
Yeah. Yeah. This is just going to be a major step forward for me in a lot of ways. Y'all are great. You're just great people.
It's true.
I must be doing something right, you know, for these types of folks to be in my circle.
Yeah, because I've been in groups for other podcasts, and seriously, there are some garbage fucking people out there.
I know, right? Yeah, no. I hear you on that.
And it has never, ever happened in Unspoiled, in any thread, where there's somebody where I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Shut up.
There was one guy way back when I first started the patrons group. I think there were like 30 people. And that guy was terrible.
Oh,
and
really?
I booted him. And everybody was just like, I went back and forth with him for like half an hour trying to reason with him. And then finally booted him. And everybody was like, you had so much more patience than I did. Like,
wow.
You really gave him a chance. And I was like, I tried, but he just wasn't interested. And since then, nothing. Because that was really like when things started off that way, I was sort of like, oh boy, I might be in for something, starting this like group. And then it never happened again. So, yeah. Thank you guys for being not babies that I need to constantly babysit. That's also super awesome.
Yeah. Thank you for all of you being super cool.
All right. Is there anything you want to add before we wrap up?
I don't think so, since I don't have to be all secretive about the next episode.
There's a scribble that attacks Rose. Guys, it's amazing. It's just a fucking scribble. Oh my god, what a weird thing. Okay, yeah. Looking forward to that. Toodaloo, motherfuckers.
Bye.